Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mrs. Avila. Yes, you can go play. This is Mrs. Avila presenting your lesson for Friday, May 8th. Today's lesson is called Climate Change Solutions. Our essential question is what can be done to stop the carbon dioxide and methane in Earth's atmosphere from increasing? So today we're going to watch the Screencastify lesson video. You're going to follow along on the Lesson 3.2 student document. You're going to complete the Climate Change Solutions article questions. So you will need to have the Screencastify video playing, this one, the Lesson 3.2 student document open, and the Climate Change Solutions article open, and the Climate Change Solutions article questions open. So you're going to have 4 tabs. Make sure you press turn in for your Climate Change Solutions article questions document. The Climate Change Solutions, or I should say Lesson 3.2 document, you don't need to turn in today, but we do need to go through it. So before we get started today, make sure you have this document open and the daily video playing. Actually, I should have had also the article. You will also need the article open and the article questions open. Human activities are causing the levels of carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere to increase, and there are several possible solutions for this serious situation. Today, you will learn about some of the creative ways people are trying to combat climate change and protect the Earth system. So our unit question is what causes climate change? We've learned what causes it, greenhouse gases. Those greenhouse gases have increased in the last 150 so-ish years because of human activity. And today our essential question basically is the chapter 3 question. What can be done to stop the carbon dioxide and methane in Earth's atmosphere from increasing? So Earth's climate is getting warmer because more carbon dioxide and methane are being added to the atmosphere from human activities. There are things we can do to put less carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere. So here's your warm-up for the day. What are your ideas about how humans can reduce the amount of carbon dioxide and methane they add to the atmosphere? So you're going to type in what you think people can do to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide or methane that they add to the atmosphere. So maybe something like drive less, so you're burning less fossil fuels, walk when possible, maybe something like eat 1 meal a week, without meat. And how could that help? Even if it's 1 meal a week without meat, that would put less demand on cattle, sheep, etc., which they are big contributors to methane in the atmosphere. So even eating 1 meal a week that is not doesn't contain meat could help. We started this unit by making claims about why temperatures were increasing and ice was melting. We have gathered a lot of evidence suggesting that increasing carbon dioxide and methane are causing the temperature to increase. In the previous lesson, we found evidence that carbon dioxide and methane are in the atmosphere are increasing as a result of human activities. Now we will investigate ways to figure out what can be done to stop the increase of carbon dioxide and methane. When talking about climate change, what does the term human activities mean? Human activities are the things people do that affect the Earth system. What kinds of human activities lead to more carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere? We saw in the sim combustion for activities like driving cars and producing energy and keeping livestock increase carbon dioxide and methane. The national stay-at-home order for March and April has provided scientists with a unique look at how greenhouse gases have been affected by less people driving to work and other places. Let's take a look at some satellite images taken by NASA. So these 2 months where most people are staying at home unless they're essential workers has really shown a decrease in the release of greenhouse gases. And these are pictures from NASA. This is March 2015 through 2019, the average. And this is March 2020. So this is in the Northeast United States. But you see that the greenhouse gases for March 2020 is much less. And that is because more people are staying at home, less people are driving their vehicles, less carbon dioxide in the air. The image on the left represents an average of greenhouse gases from March 2015 to March 2019 over the northeast coast of the U.S., such as New Jersey and New York City. The image on the right is from March 2020. This would represent what cars are contributing to the greenhouse gases before and after everyone started staying at home. Yep. No, I'm still doing my lesson. What, baby? I'm doing my lesson. Okay, here we have some maps. The maps above show greenhouse gases in California before and during the stay-at-home order. The difference in Los Angeles is pretty significant. So here's Los Angeles. Here's the amount of carbon dioxide over Los Angeles in January of this year, and this is March. So again, people driving their vehicles less is showing that there's a decrease in putting that carbon dioxide in the air. We will be reading about 2 different approaches to reducing the amount of carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere. One way to stop making so much carbon dioxide and methane. One way is to stop making so much carbon dioxide and methane. Another way is to remove carbon dioxide and methane that has already been produced. The different solutions you will read about fall into one of these 2 categories. You will have an assignment to complete concerning the article. You could open it at this time while I have Amplify read it to you and fill it in as you read. You will find it within the same section as today's lesson. It is called Climate Change Solutions Article Questions. This assignment is due on Monday, May 11th, or by Monday, May 11th. This assignment is one of those that could be replacing one of your lower quarter 3 practice grades if needed. And this is the last practice assignment for quarter 4. There will be a final lesson on Monday, which will be lesson 3.3. Actually, it's like finishing up lesson 3.2 and doing lesson 3.3. It will be helpful for completing your final project that will be assigned on Tuesday, May 12th. So before I show that, I'm going to show that you're going to have this document open and you're going to be filling in the blanks. You will have a copy of the article. I had told you previously to have it open that you can read on your own. But I'm also within this video going to have Amplify do the read aloud. So those of you that benefit from having it read to you can listen to this as you fill in the questions, and you can pause the video as needed. Okay. So I'm going to start playing here. The climate change solutions, the problem, too much carbon dioxide and methane. So I'm going to press play here.
Climate change solutions. The problem, too much carbon dioxide and methane. Most of the energy sources humans use to power our homes, businesses, and cars involve burning fuel, a process we call combustion. Combustion leads to higher temperatures on Earth, but not because fires are hot. The process of burning almost any fuel puts carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, whether the fuel is coal, oil, natural gas, or wooden logs. It's this increase in carbon dioxide that warms the planet. Carbon dioxide is not the only gas that affects the Earth's climate. Would you believe that some of the gases that warm the planet come from inside farm animals? Cows and other grass eating animals, like sheep and goats, produce a gas called methane, which also warms the planet when it gets into the atmosphere. Methane is also produced by industrial sources, such as using natural gas to produce electricity. However, of the methane put into the atmosphere by human activities, 35% comes from raising grass eating animals. Because they warm the planet, carbon dioxide and methane are known as greenhouse gases. How do we solve the problem of too much carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere? Many people have thought of possible solutions, like capturing carbon dioxide at power plants, reducing the amount of methane animals release into the air, and using more solar power. We may need to use all of these solutions together if we want to solve as huge a problem as climate change. Part of the solution: producing less carbon dioxide. Solar power. What energy source is about 93 million miles away? The sun, of course. Solar power converts light energy from sunshine into electrical energy. Increasing our use of solar power can help reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. But how? Solar power isn't taking carbon dioxide out of the air. How can solar power affect the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Unlike solar power plants, most power plants produce electricity by burning fuel, that is, combustion. Burning fuel releases carbon dioxide. Solar power plants work differently. Instead of burning fuel for power, they use energy from the sun. If we can produce electricity using energy from the sun instead of energy from burning fuel, we can stop putting so much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. One drawback to solar power is that it's expensive. However, engineers are working to make solar power cheaper. With smart engineering, they hope to make solar power an even bigger part of the carbon dioxide solution now and in the future. Bikes and transit. One way humans can keep carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere is to drive cars less frequently. Driving cars increases carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Most cars burn fuel through combustion, and burning fuel releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Even electric cars tend to increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere because they get energy from being plugged into an electrical outlet. The electricity they get comes from power plants, and most power plants produce electric energy by burning fuel, which releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. People can keep some of that carbon dioxide from being released by driving less, no matter what kind of car they have. How can people stop driving cars so much? One answer is to find other ways of traveling. For short trips, people can ride bikes or walk instead of driving. For longer trips, people can use public transit, buses, trains, and subways. These vehicles usually burn fuel, but lots of people can ride them at once. If 8 people are riding a bus at one time, that's one engine burning fuel to move 8 people. If those same 8 people are each riding in a separate car, that's 8 engines burning fuel to move 8 people. Even though transit vehicles often burn fuel, riding public transit helps reduce the amount of carbon dioxide we put into the air. Part of the solution: removing carbon dioxide and methane. Capturing methane from cows. Cows are very good at getting energy from plants, but the microorganisms that live in their digestive systems and help them eat grass also produce a lot of methane. And that methane has to get out somehow. In this case, we use the cow's bodies through burps and farts. In 1 year, one cow puts out methane in about the same amount as one car puts out carbon dioxide. To reduce the amount of methane cows produce, some scientists are working on inventing ways for cows to produce less gas when they digest their food. Some are trying to find out whether different diets for cows might help them put out less gas. Others are trying to change the way microorganisms in the cow's digestive systems process food. If the microorganisms produce less methane, so will the cows. Another solution would be to eat less beef. If humans ate less meat that comes from cows, Farmers would raise fewer cows, and there would be less methane in the atmosphere. Capturing carbon dioxide at power plants. We put carbon dioxide into the atmosphere by using electrical devices like lights, phones, and computers. Why is that? Phones and light bulbs don't burn any fuel, they run on electrical energy. However, that electrical energy had to come from somewhere. It traveled through power lines from a power plant. Most power plants generate electricity by burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, or natural gas. Burning those fuels sends carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. For now, millions of people rely on power plants for electricity, and those power plants nearly always release carbon dioxide. What if we could stop that carbon dioxide from reaching the atmosphere? Some power plants use complicated processes to capture the carbon dioxide produced by burning fuel and store it deep underground. Capturing carbon dioxide keeps it out of the atmosphere, which helps stop the planet from warming as quickly. However, capturing carbon dioxide is expensive, and we don't know what the long-term effects might be of burying large amounts of carbon dioxide underground. Reforestation. To reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, we can use less energy and store our carbon dioxide before it reaches the atmosphere, or we can rely on a natural process to absorb carbon dioxide from the air. That natural process involves trees and other plants. All plants take in carbon dioxide, use it to make food for themselves, and release oxygen. The more plants there are in the world, the more carbon dioxide is removed from the atmosphere. One reason there is so much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere today is that humans have cut down many of the trees on Earth and used them to build buildings and make paper and other materials. There are millions of fewer trees on Earth than there once were, which means there is less carbon dioxide being taken in. One way of solving the problem of too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is reforestation or planting trees. Many tree planting projects are located in places where people cut down forests in the past. By replacing trees that have been removed and planting new trees, people can cause the world's forests to take in more carbon dioxide. Reforestation also creates forest habitat, benefiting many kinds of animals and plants that live in forests.
Okay, so you're going to make sure that you finish this document, this assignment. Okay. And you're going to turn it in. You do not need to turn in this one, but it does tell you to turn in your article questions assignment. And that's it. This will be the last assignment in the grade book. You will have 8 assignments for quarter 4. And I will go through and replace grades for quarter 3 to practice grades as needed. And then your final exam project, it's going to be a project, will be assigned next Tuesday. Okay. I had to refilm this one since the other one was taking too long. So hopefully this one doesn't take too long. And if you're in the Google Meets this afternoon, we'll see you, chat with you then. Bye-bye.